Well, we're back once again in our 1986 Escort, and we are here now to remove the main dashboard engage cluster bezel. It's a pretty big piece. It's not the entire thing you see before us, but we'll break it down into the sections that they are. The first thing you do have to do is remove the steering column trim or bezel panel, whatever you'd like to call it. It is a two-piece system, so they just split right down the center, but there are 4 screws to take care of, and they're each in these holes, 1, 2, 3, and then that 4th one that's sticking out. They're all Phillips. They're all the same length on this car. Once you do that, the 2 clamshells separate. The bottom one will kind of fall to the floor, and then the top one you just pick up, tilt up, and then it will come out through the steering wheel itself. Once you've done that, now you're ready to remove the main bezels around the gauge cluster. So we'll start with the left one. This piece is separate, and it's the only piece that has a red bottom part of it. The other half down here, it is not part of that. So this left side is rather unique in that way. What you have to do is remove a whole bunch of these Allen head screws. And interestingly enough, they are just screws with an Allen head. They're size 4, I believe, 4mm Allens. They're all metric. And there's one there, one there, one there, one there, another there, and then your last one. It's hard to get the camera on it, but it is there, and there is fair access to all of them. But once you removed this one, this panel can then be removed. But I do recommend removing this guy first, and I'll pull this out and show you why. Because you can see there is this tab here. This is what holds this entire piece inside the dashboard. So you have to press this down in order to sneak this out without destroying your dashboard like I had to here. But to get this guy out, we'll move these vents so you can kind of see what's going on here a little bit better. That right there, the half moon stem, that is the pivot point for these vents. There's going to be one on each side, and what you have to do is just stick a screwdriver in there, like so. Stick a screwdriver in there, pry that up, and once you pry that up, that side of the vent will pop out. Now be very gentle, because if you overdo it, you will break the housing or you'll break the vent, sometimes both. And once you do that to one side, pop it out a little bit, and then you'll have to do the other side for it to come out fully. But once you've removed that, the vent is no longer in the way for this tab to be pressed down. Once that is pressed down, this whole bezel comes out like almost nothing. The only thing that really holds it in is this metal tang thing at that point, and that just clips into one of the bigger holes in the dashboard, and then that is removed. So set that off to the side. After you do that, then you can move on to the main dashboard speedometer bezel. Really all that's left in this are just a couple snaps, and oh, I'm sorry, there's one more Allen screw hiding right there, so I'll pause the video and I'll remove that for you. Okay, and we're back. So yeah, that kind of shows how easy it is to overlook this one screw. This last screw that goes in this hole, it's another 4mm Allen screw. It's just like the others, same length and all. And then once you've removed that, now this entire piece just pulls forward towards you and then lifts up between the steering wheel and the dashboard. And then we'll set that somewhere safe so it doesn't get damaged. And now we have full access to the gauge cluster. And then the gauge cluster removes quite easily. There's just a few bolts or screws along the outside, and then it wiggles on forward. But it will only come out about half as far as it needs to, and then you'll have to disconnect the ribbon cable connector that goes into the back of it that supplies power and the readings for your gauge set, depending on which gauge set you have. Obviously this one is the most minimal. It only has some warning lights, fuel gauge, and speedometer. And then of course most will have a speedometer cable that need removing as well, and that is a task of in itself. But I did make a video for the 82 to 83s, and those are essentially the same thing. Aside from the ribbon cable, they didn't really change anything. But yes, this is really all there is to it. Sometime soon I'll pull out all of my instrument clusters, have them all side by side, so you can see how they are, see how compatible they are or not, and we'll go from there. But I'd say that is it for now, so we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hello, this will be a quick video on how to remove the 1984 to 1990 Ford Escort and EXP. Gonna have a glove box, coin tray, map tray kind of thing, but it's a bezel that inserts into the passenger side of the dashboard, and it's got a movable and adjustable vent on the right side, and then there is a smaller compartment for your maps, today your cell phone, way back when, wallet, coin purse, things like that. That's kind of what that's made for and good for. Pretty easy to remove. There's just a number of screws, and they're all 4 up here. You can see 2 are shorter and 2 are longer, but they're all just simple Phillips. The longer ones came from back here. If you shine a light in here, you'll see there is a screw hiding there and a screw hiding there, and it goes into the fabric. They kind of put like a velour on these guys, and the screws just go in through it from above. And then there are 2 screws on the top, and those you might not see so easily. They're quite easy to overlook, so just make sure you can get at them. With the screws in the back, once you get the head of your screwdriver on them, the angle pretty much will be your screwdriver just about touching it. And then with the top ones, it's the same way. Once you got it in the head, your screwdriver will be touching the surround of the bezel again. And then once you've done all that, it all simply peels away. And you just have to wiggle up and down, and it will come on out. The only sticky part will be, you can see they put a little foam around this diffuser pod, and it's to keep it from vibrating. It also helps seal it, so when you turn it off, it really is off, and it diverts most of the air to the other parts of the HVAC system. But then there is also this little catch. So once you have all this loose, sometimes you'll have to shift it to the left, or worst case scenario, stick your screwdriver in here, pry it out from the side, and then you're all set. But those are only pry points you have to use. If it weren't for that, this would just slip in and out. So yeah, otherwise that's all done. Real soon I'll be uploading more videos on how to disassemble and replace other parts of the dashboard, the 84 to 90 dashboards I should specify, so keep an eye out for that. Those will be uploaded real soon.